Hey guys, it's your girl Nosh. What's going on? Just saying hi, what's up? We have the solar eclipse coming on April 8th. A lot of you are probably wondering if they're talking about how some people are saying look at the solar eclipse without any glasses or anything like that. And don't listen to people warning you not to look at the solar eclipse. And then there's some people saying, don't look at the solar eclipse. You know, the ancients, the ancestors have said to just avoid it as much as possible. And most of you are probably wondering, well, which one is the truth? Should we look at it? Should we not look at it? And I think that's a very good question. And I also think that this is the time for you to use your intuition. How many of us have intuition? Raise your hand. How many of us use that intuition? Raise your hand. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because your intuition is supposed to help you. It's supposed to guide you. It's supposed to keep you safe. When things are happening, your intuition will come in and tell you, yes, listen to this person. No, don't listen to this person. If you're the type of individual where your intuition has never steered you wrong, I would say listen to your intuition. And if your intuition tells you to look, then look. If your intuition tells you not to look, not to look. Everybody has a different story. I think people forget this. We're not all the same. Our ancestors are not the same. Our past lives are not the same. The skills that we carry are not the same. The abilities that we have are not the same. So for you to sit there and think that if one person says, yeah, look at the solar eclipse because it'll help you awaken your powers, may not be the same for everyone. I hope people understand that and we really get besides our ego and we stop trying to be important. We're important in our own stories, not the story of overall. Because I always come across, these situations where I see people trying to be important. Like, it's like, no, brother, ew. Like, you don't need to do that. You're already important in your own story. You're already important in your own position. Whatever God scriptured out for you, whatever the universe, wrote out for you, you're important in that. You are who you are. So for you to, sometimes it could be spiritual psychosis. Sometimes it could actually be reality. But from what I've learned is that everyone is different. So when this solar eclipse is happening, I really, really would suggest for you to listen to your inner guidance, your inner voice, your inner intuition to help you guide into understanding, should you look at the solar eclipse or not? That's honestly what I would say. So most of you, if you feel led to look at the solar eclipse, maybe there's a reason behind it, but make sure you're not being influenced. Okay, make sure that it's not because you're listening to someone and you're being influenced by that. If you know you're a person that can easily be influenced, you need to take some time out and go alone and sit with God and ask God, should I look at the solar eclipse, God? Or do I want to look at the solar eclipse because everybody around me wants to look at the solar eclipse? If you're a person who's not easily influenced, I love you guys. You guys are the best. I'm also like that. I'm not easily influenced. I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. Instead, I actually do the opposite of what everybody else is doing because I feel like, well, if everybody else is doing that, I kind of don't want to do that. There's a reason why everybody else is doing that, and I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. But I've always been like that. It all, like, again, we're all different people. We all get our sources from different places. We all have our belief system because it's been ingrained in us from different sources, different spiritual beliefs, different cultures, different heritage, different bloodlines that we have. So again, I'm going to say it. If you are led to look at the solar eclipse, then go ahead, do what you need to do. But if you're led and something is telling you that you shouldn't look at the solar eclipse, that, it's best for you not to look at it, then follow that. I would also go back and listen to what our grandparents told us, what our ancestors told us, what our elders told us about solar eclipses. Because believe it or not, yes, they weren't modern, but they had some knowledge for them to teach us the way they taught us. Make sense? They say if you want to know about the past, go ask an elderly person. If you want to know about the future, go ask a young person. It's very true. If you want to know about what's going on now, ask the people that are around you. So there's a past, present, and future right there. So, I mean, I would honestly, if you have a connection with your elders, if you have a connection with your ancestors, I would definitely get in touch with them and say, hey, listen, when you were young, what did your grandpa or grandma say to you about looking at the solar eclipse? And you'll get your answer there. And I would honestly, listen to what they're saying. Again, of course, if your intuition will tell you if you even need to do that part right there, if you even need to pick up the phone and call your elders. Again, all I'm saying is listen to intuition, because moving forward after the solar eclipse, and I've been saying this for many years, your intuition is everything. Your intuition is that divine guidance that comes from, if you want to call it, the stars. It comes from God. It comes from source. It comes from spirit. So for those of you who are sleeping on your intuition, this is the perfect time to wake it up and say, hey, can we talk? I want to listen to you now. Because most of you have been going through life knowing that you shouldn't do something, but yet you keep doing it, right? That relationship, that job, that attitude you have, deep down inside that this is not supposed to be there. That's your intuition telling you that's not supposed to be there. That's your higher self telling you that's not supposed to be there. But are you listening to it? Are you applying the advice that your higher self and your intuition is giving you? And simplest fact, what intuition is that thought that comes inside of you really quick, or that idea that comes to you really quick out of nowhere. And you actually listen to it and it turns out to be correct. And you can play games with this, you can say, oh, my intuition is telling me that the next car that's going to pass down my street is blue. And then see if it's blue. When you play games like that, in a sense, you strengthen that muscle. Intuition is also a muscle as well. It's a spiritual muscle. It's a very important muscle. There's a lot of times where, I will get asked to go somewhere, and I use my intuition to find out if I should go or not. Especially when I'm having anxiety about a certain situation. Now, you have to remember, you don't get anxiety if it's for you. I don't know what you guys believe or not, but my theory is if something is for you, you will not get anxiety. You'll go right into it. Like the way water just flows. It's an ebb and flow. Water just flows the way it needs to. When you get anxiety about something, you get doubt about something, that is something holding you back from not doing it. Because either in a past life you did it and the results didn't come out right, or you did it in this lifetime and the results didn't come out right. So that's why you're getting anxious about it again. When you get anxiety about making a decision or using your intuition, I would say right then, stop, get silent. It's like stop, drop, and roll. So in that case, that's exactly what I would tell you. Stop, sit down, and flow. You got to listen to your inner self. Your inner self is not going to do you wrong, okay? That person sitting next to you, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife will do you wrong. Hell, that dog across the street will do you wrong, but you yourself won't. You know what I mean? So again, just a shout out to everybody, and I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is doing well. But just remember that when we have the solar eclipse coming, listen to your intuition. When you listen to your intuition, you can hold yourself accountable. Because most of these people out here, I'm just going to tell you a little secret. Some of them are just trending. Some people literally are just trending. Okay? Like when you swim, there's some people that tread water and there's some people that just float. Right? I'm a floater. I'm a peaceful floater. I can care less about treading. You give me a floaty, I'll float on top of the water. I'm good like that. But that's what I'm telling you. There's some people who are just hopping on the bandwagon with everyone else, because there was a time period where spirituality was shunned. Nobody liked us. Nobody cared for us. They burned us. They didn't want to have shit to do with us. They gagged us. They shut our mouths. They sewed our eyes and they sewed our lips shut because they didn't want us to talk about the things that we wanted to talk about. So think about it for a second. For such a long time, what I'm even talking to you about right now, I probably would have been crucified back in like the 1800s. The 5th century, they probably would have crucified me if I was here. Where I'm from originally, Pakistan, that's not what would happen. Because, this is something I really want to get into, and this is a little off subject, but we're talking about the solar eclipse. Now, back in these countries, in Pakistan, India, and like the areas over there, outside of America, I remember I was taught to be very cautious during the solar eclipse. That not to look at the solar eclipse, to stay away from it, because it's a sign of the sun going through a difficulty. It's going through an eclipse. What happens when we go through eclipses? When something gets eclipsed out of us, it's a release. How do we feel? We're like in our most vulnerable state. So in a sense, my elders always taught me to respect the space of the sun and let the sun do whatever it needs to do. And all I need to do is pray at that time. So just pray. Why would my ancestors tell me to pray at that time? Why would my ancestors tell me to just leave it alone? It's the flow of nature. Let nature do what it needs to do. Don't get involved in it. Just pray for it. Like, don't sit there and be underneath it in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, it's like when a woman is changing her clothes, do we stare at her? No, we give her some privacy. That's what I was taught where I come from. Usually we also tell women during a lunar eclipse or solar eclipse, if she's pregnant, to just stay inside and not handle any sharp objects, because it could affect the fetus. And now you're like, well, what's going to happen? Like, is she going to cut herself? Is she going to... No. What happens is the fetus inside feels vulnerable. It feels distress in a sense. So that's why they tell women to just lay down, don't do any housework, just be easy on yourself. And just like other women, if you're on your period, lay down, relax, just be easy on yourself. You have to understand, humans are very much similar to planets. That's why we're so affected. Why? Because a certain percentage of our body has water in it. And these planets are affected by water. Or these planets affect water. And that's why when the moon does what it does its thing, us women do our thing. You know, when the moon is doing its thing, there's a lot of crazy people doing their thing. Right? Right? I guess that's why they call women crazy. I love that title. But anyways, you got to understand, we're all related in this sense. We're all connected. Oh, it's awesome to be detached, right? But connected with everything. That's basically how we are. Yes, we have our own little galaxies, right? We are our own little galaxies. But those galaxies are also connected with everyone else. Which brings me back to what I was saying. You are important in your own story. So again, use your intuition. See how you feel about it. If your intuition says, hey, yeah, let's go outside and look at the solar eclipse without any glasses on, go ahead and do that. You know, we live in a time period where no one can tell you what to do. Okay? And I kind of want to add after that, fuck around and find out. I don't know why. But we live in a time period where no one can tell you what to do. Everyone is thinking for themselves, which is a beautiful thing. But now that everyone is thinking for themselves, I hope you think properly for yourself. I hope you think beneficially for yourself. So that's why this time period, it would be best for you to listen to your intuition. Get in good with your ancestors. Listen to that communication that's coming from them. And may it guide you. May it lead you to make the decision that is good for you and your higher self. Okay? I love you guys. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is safe during the solar eclipse. Like I said, just be cautious. Watch out for your animals. They will be behaving weirdly, not biting or anything like that or getting aggressive. They're just going to think that it's nighttime outside. So you might see their sleep routine come out earlier than normal. Okay? All right, guys. I love you. Take care. Until next time.